Okay, for this question, it says Ashley draws a map of her town on a coordinate grid where each unit represents 1 mile. A pizza shop in the town delivers to any location within a 6-mile radius. So that tells us the area is a circle that we're looking at. Ashley's house is located at 9-3 and the pizza shop is located at 6-7. Complete the sentences to describe whether Ashley's house is within the delivery radius of the pizza shop. The shortest distance from the pizza shop to Ashley's house is blank miles. So if we make a picture to go along with this, Ashley's house and the pizza place, we want to know the shortest distance to Ashley's house from the pizza place. So we can draw a segment to connect that. We've practiced figuring out the distance on a graph by doing Pythagorean theorem. So we make a triangle. This distance is 3. This distance is 4. So if I want to find out C, because C is the hypotenuse, I'm going to say 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. So this is 9 plus 16, so that's 25 is C squared. You have to take the square root on both sides to get C. So this distance is 5. That's the shortest distance from the pizza place to Ashley's house. So shortest distance is 5. Okay, and then the next part, it says, therefore, Ashley's house is within or outside of the delivery radius of the pizza shop. So it said in the beginning that the pizza place had a radius of 6 miles for delivery. So if the radius is 6 miles, that means it would go out 6 miles farther, so somewhere out here past the 5 miles. I don't know exactly where it is, but somewhere around there. Okay, so she's within the radius. She's less than the 6 miles. Okay, number 30. Number 30 is a question where you'd have to put something on this graph. It says Kyla claims that the sum of the interior angles of any closed figure is 360 degrees or greater. Use the connect line tool to draw a figure that is a counter example. So counter example means proves it wrong. So Kyla is saying the sum of the interior angles, which means inside, for any closed figure is 360 degrees or greater. Well, anytime you have a triangle, it's only 180 degrees. So you can put any type of triangle on your picture to prove it wrong. Okay, you can put a triangle anywhere on here, any type of triangle. You just have to make some type of triangle because that is the counter example. Because this is a closed figure and it's less than 360 degrees. Number 31. We have a quadrilateral and it's inscribed in circle F. Complete the statements to describe the measure in degrees of angle ADC. So ADC means this is the angle I'm talking about. So we have to remember that when a quadrilateral is inscribed, the opposite angles are supplementary. Okay, that's a property that we need to remember for our inscribed quadrilaterals. So this angle and this angle over here would be our opposites, so they would be supplementary. So ABC, which is 82, and ADC are supplementary. This means the measure of ADC is, so they have to make 180 together. So I would subtract 82 from both sides, and I would get 98 is my missing angle. All right, number 32. We have a circle with 2 tangent segments. This question has 2 parts. Which equation is true? So as soon as I see this word tangent, I know that the tangents are the same size if they start at the same point. So that means this 4x minus 10 is the same size as 2x. So that would be the equation that I'm going to look for, is the equation that makes them say that they're the same size as each other. So that's the first one. Okay, the second part to this question is, what is the value of x? So now I just have to solve my problem. So I could subtract 4x on both sides, and then I have negative 10 is equal to negative 2x, and then I divide by negative 2, so that gives me x is positive 5. Okay, so that's it for that question. And then number 33. We have a right triangle, and we have these side lengths given. It says select an expression to complete the trigonometric ratio for the triangle. So this says, what's the tangent of 30? So on my reference sheet, I want to remember what the tangent is. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So we're going to write down that tangent is opposite over adjacent. We're focusing on the 30 degree, so we're going to say the tangent of 30 is, this is opposite, this is hypotenuse, this is adjacent, because remember, hypotenuse is always across from the 90 degrees, adjacent is the leg that is next to or touching, which helps make that angle. So this is adjacent, and then this is opposite. So I don't know right now what the adjacent is. I need to figure that out. So I don't know what goes in the bottom, but I can see from my choice the 7 radical 41s in the top, and I need to figure out the bottom here. So if I want to find the missing side of this triangle, I could do that a variety of ways. One way to do it would be to do Pythagorean theorem. This is my C. I could call this A, and I could call this B. And I could say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared plus 7 radical 41 squared is equal to 14 radical 41 squared. Now this is where it might be nice to use your EOC calculator as opposed to using your handheld calculator. So on our EOC calculator, if I want to square, if I go 7 radical 41, oops, I forgot to put this in parentheses, and then I square it, I get the 2009. So this is going to be a squared plus 2009. And then for this one, I'm going to put parentheses 14 radical 41. I'm going to come outside there, close my parentheses, square it. I get 8,036. Okay, now I'm solving, so I would have to subtract 2009 from both sides. And I get that, I'm just going to write this over here. A squared is equal to 6,027. So to get A, I have to square root. So A is going to be, if I round, about 77.63. None of these choices look like that. None of these choices look like this. So my best strategy is type in these choices and see which one gives me this same decimal answer. So if I type the first one in, 7 radical 41, I should know that's wrong because it's not the same as this side. I get 44. And I'm going to type in 14 radical 41. And I get 89.6 something, which is not the same. And then I'm going to type in 7 times the square root of 123, and I get the same answer. So that tells me that this is an equivalent answer to the decimal that I got. So just because they have it in radical form doesn't mean you can't do it, right? We got our answer as a decimal. We just have to find the answer that's the same as the one we got. Okay. Number 34. Select all the figures that have a triangular cross-section when sliced parallel to their base. So parallel to their base means it's not going to intersect their base. So if I slice through this figure, their base is a triangle. So if I'm slicing it parallel to the base, it's going to be the same shape as the base. This base is a circle. So if I slice through here, I'm going to get a circle. This base is a square or maybe a rectangle. If I slice through there, I'm going to get a square or a rectangle. Same thing here. My base is a square or a rectangle, so I'm going to get that shape. And then for this last one, I've got a triangle. So remember, when it's select all, you have to find at least two. Sometimes there's more than two, but it's at least two. If you only find one, you got to keep hunting for another one. Every select all question is going to be at least two. Okay, then we're going to do one more for this video. Prism A is dilated by a scale factor greater than 0 and less than 1 to create a prism. This tells me it's a reduction, because if my scale factor is between 0 and 1, I'm reducing it. Okay, complete the sentences to compare the volume and surface area of the two prisms. The volume of prism A is equal to, less than, greater than the volume of prism B. So if I'm taking A and I'm reducing it to get B, A is bigger, B is smaller. Okay, so the volume would have to be greater for A. The surface area of A would also have to be greater because it's bigger. Okay, we're shrinking it, we're reducing it to get to B.